Welcome back for the fifth and final video in this little mini-series of the Yorkshire Grand Tour. This week, so as the final one, this is the final shop we went to, but also the third. I'll explain that. So it's a mini chain. I think they've got multiple branches. They've definitely got two. I don't know if they got more. I think somebody said they've got more. And that is Electric Town, the third shop that we went to being the one in Ripon, and the last one that we went to being in Castleford. Sadly, and I do mean this sadly, the Ripon shop, which was fortunately the better shop in terms of the stock that he had. The gentleman that was working there at the time, I believe he was the owner, he was adamant that he didn't want any YouTube footage, no videos being captured, and you have no idea how much this disappointed me, being the fact that I wanted to make YouTube content on what these game shops were like, just to give you guys an idea of what was about. But after a discussion with him and after I bought something, he agreed to let me take photos. So shout out to you. He let me take some photos. I will cue a pictures book right now for you, so enjoy. So the front of the shop is just off this little side road. Pretty busy though. Obviously I went straight to the SNES wall as usual. Decent collection there for you rare games that you don't see all the time. You got some loose carts for SNES and N64 and Game Gear bits and pieces. Nice glass cabinet filled with all the usual handhelds, boxed and unboxed. Bit of a blurry picture, but some loose carts and games for the Game Boy. Nice cabinet with Sega Saturn, which you don't see that often these days. And at the back of the store they had the usual random little small Skylanders and things. A few nice big glass cabinets with some other niche stuff that you don't see as often. And the back of the shop has really got more of the bigger PC and PS1 and that sort of thing in there. And this is the counter. You can see loads more SNES games, a bit more stuff crammed in. There's a cabinet there with some more box consoles and things. And there behind the counter there's the owner, you can see him behind the... So yeah, hopefully that little collage of pictures gives you an idea of what they had. I would say it was probably the best shop with the games, I think. For the range of games that they had, some good titles in good condition. It was probably the number one really. And again, I'm a big fan of the Aladdin's Cave layout that some of the shops do it. I think I'd prefer it that way, to be honest, and it was definitely that, with all the various cabinets and things dotted around. It was all crammed in there. Some great pieces, great bits of hardware, like the DSi Mario edition. There's just so many bits and pieces in there which just caught your eye. He had this Microsoft Xbox One, well, I say one, the OG, the first Xbox. He had a Dead or Alive edition. I probably should take a photo of the box of that, and he said it comes with a pillow, and you can imagine what the pillow is, right? Dead or Alive. Maybe I'll stick in a little bit of photo of that. Not something that I would take, but the console was in blue and it was beautiful. So we picked out, me and Get Retro, we picked out a few games that we were interested in. For me, I wanted an upgrade on my Castlevania 4, the Konami Silver Box. Mine's a little bit battered, so I thought I'll inquire about that. And Get Retro wanted Tournament Fighters, again another Konami Silver Box, and that was in mint condition. And he also had a Super Metroid big box, but missing the cardboard insert, but with the game and more importantly the player's guide in good condition. and we got to chatting while he was pricing them up. I'm not sure, I couldn't see how he was pricing them up, but he was going away and having a look, checking the condition stuff, and unfortunately we couldn't, the prices that he gave us seemed on the higher end really, which is not kind of what we were after. We're trying, I don't want to say we're after bargains, but obviously we don't want to pay top dollar, right? Everybody wants to save money given where we are now, the current climate, so we had to turn them down. But there's one game that he had which I've never seen out in the wild, which I wanted to add, and I kind of forgotten about it, but I knew I wanted to add it, and that was Tiny Toon Wild and Wacky Sports. No manual, which is a shame, and no insert, but obviously comes with a cart. Box is in pretty good condition, I would say. Very good condition. It's just a shame it doesn't have the manual. I have to hunt one of those down. So what am I doing with this? I've decided that I'm going to try and complete the Konami boxed SNES collection. So I've got the silver boxes, I've got quite a few of the other normal games. I was missing this one, beautiful pink. The other ones left are Sparkster, heavy hitter, Biker Mice from Mars, heavy hitter, the Pop and Twinbee platform game, heavy hitter, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, heavy hitter. So there's 4 heavy hitter Konami games on the SNES left, probably to the tune of 500 or 600. I mean, that's nuts, right? So yeah, over the next few months, I guess, I'm not going to be picking them up anytime soon. It will be the last of the Konami games. That's what I'm going for. That's like the main point of focus. Eventually I'm going to put them all out on display, all the Konami games lined up next to each other. I think they'll look fantastic as a complete set. Inspired by Retro Ghetto on these mini collection missions, and it just makes things fun, I think. So yeah, I'm looking out for those Konami games. If anybody's got a lead on any of them, Sparkster, Biker Mice, the Pop and Twinbee platformer, and Batman and Robin. If you're a collector, you know what they are. They're big games, so I'm after those. But Electric Town in Ripon, I would 100% recommend this. It was my favourite shop of this little Yorkshire trip. The dude behind the counter was eccentric. It's definitely a good laugh. If you're watching this back, shout out to you, dude. Thanks for the good deal on the game, and yeah, I think I would go back there again in the future to see what other great little grail items and gems he's got, and just for a chat actually. It seemed like a nice place, and the shop was awesome, and there's parking right outside. Win-win. So the other Electric Town is in Castleford, and yeah, it's slightly different from the other one. You can see the layout is kind of inspired by it. We found out while speaking to the dude that was there that he is the son of the other dude's girlfriend, I think. So that was the connection. And first thing I will say is the guy that was working there, I think he's the owner as well. He's extremely passionate about gaming. He loves it through and through. And it's always nice when the guys that are there are showing that level of passion, or interested, as well as being obviously their livelihood and their business and what they do. They're generally there because they love it, and it just makes it more interesting, I think. And you can see it comes through in the shop. So this guy let me record, so here's the footage. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time and leave the footage completely raw. So enjoy. Okay, yeah. It was that one there, but yeah. So many 3DS games. Dreamcast karaoke.
Yeah,
no,
it's a Japanese version in it.
That's sick.
Yeah. There's something on there, yeah.
Yeah. Skip over the Xbox.
I'm not sure which category we're first on, it's just still.
So it's like an independent store, is it? You got multiple places.
Basically, it's my shop, it's independent, but we also do have a sister shop in Westcott Brickman, which is run by my family.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's this sort of family business? Is it?
Oh yeah, they run theirs, I run mine.
Okay.
You know,
Same brand.
yeah, which is this used to be theirs.
Right, and I bought some keyboards.
Do you want to give us a shout out for YouTube?
What's your channel name?
Retro Roy.
Sorry, what's that?
Retro Roy.
Retro Roy.
You just advertise the shop if you want. And which shop are we on?
Electric Town Castle.
Oh, there you go. So you saw, once again, there's a few little gems dotted around. Some few heavy hitters there that caught my eye. But nothing really kind of stood out as anything I was super after. It was a well laid out store, and I'm sure for the collectors of the Mega Drive and stuff like that, it's probably awesome, but nothing super interesting for me. But I did pick this up, and funny story, well, I'll tell you the story afterwards. I mean, you guys have probably gathered by now, I love the OG Game Boy. Once again, it's a Disney game, Disney platform. Look at the quality, the artwork on the front, it looks fantastic. Virgin made so many of the classic platformer games in the back. Footage will be there. See on the back, you know what the score is with something like this. 2D platformer, jumping around, swinging around. Probably you're going through the game. Sorry, you're going through the movie. Yeah, it's probably a really good game to play definitely as a kid. Pretty sure, yeah, it's complete. Manual, not too bad. And cart, but no cart case. Disappointment. Yeah, nice and colourful again. Don't get fooled. It says 15 quid. He said that's legacy, that was there from before. It's not £15. He priced things up via CEX and eBay pricing, as everybody does these days. You kind of got to expect it, but he gave me a little bit less. I think he said CEX 132, so but he did it me for 25. So I mean, that's pretty good, right? I think, what's that, a good 20% less than CEX price, which is a nice little win. The funny story with this is as soon as I bought it, after I paid the money and done the transaction, it just came into the back of my mind, TJ, do you already have this? And it just occurred to me that I'm sure I probably would have bought this already. It's a sort of game that I would have saw on eBay and I would have just snapped up. So I was thinking, on the way home, I'll just spend 25 quid on a game I already have, which isn't going to help anybody. But obviously, I checked, and no, I have the SNES game, but not the Game Boy one. So this will go nicely with the Game Boy Disney games, I think. The other little surprise about Electric Town in Castleford is he's got a basement, and downstairs, well, I'll show you. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, there's a temperature change, isn't there?
It's like almost Blockbuster. Almost.
Oh, yeah?
You should get some Blockbuster signs up.
That'd be quite cool.
Maybe allowed. But yeah.
Oh, no way. Here we go, old school arcades. Oof. You like the Kingdom, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
I'm surprised how quickly like DVDs have just fallen. Do you know what I mean?
It is what it is. I mean, DVDs, frankly speaking.
Netflix has just completely killed the DVD market. Completely trashed it.
Have you guys been to an arcade club over in Kirkstone?
No, we just, to be honest, we couldn't went to York. Went to York. Went to York.
So did you start with the
We've been there before.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
So I went to Kenny's Trade. Kenny's by itself.
Yeah.
Dinnington is it as well.
So how cool is that? It's kind of like an old school video game shop. I said to him that he really should brand it like a Blockbuster. That's what I would do personally. I would transform it into a Blockbuster, and I'd probably, I told him that he should sack off the DVDs. I think he'd be better off collecting and acquiring a range of classic VHS. And he said the VHS prices are starting to go up, and I think I know why. Because they are way cooler to have than a wall of DVDs now. Maybe it's just the trend, it just looks cheap and nobody's bothered by a DVD. I don't know why. You can go to charity shops and pick DVDs up or car boot sale for like 10, 20p each. It's crazy considering how much everybody loved it. I guess it's Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these guys kind of killed it. But VHS I think has got a niche, and I quite like VHS. So if it was me and I owned that shop, I said to him, you should 100% do the VHS. He had a cool collection of Laserdiscs, which I think is worth keeping. And he also had a nice little music section with CDs and things, again, which was really cool. So it was a nice little added bonus. Like I said, it was the last shop that we went to at the end of the day to conclude the epic Yorkshire Grand Tour. I'll show the map so you can see where we hit up and the distance we covered. Overall, I'd recommend both. Electric Towns, great stock, really good layout. Both dudes were really friendly. The first guy, again, he was a funny guy, and the second guy was definitely shining through with his passion. Great shop, great experience, and worth a check in. So yeah, enjoy.